Agriculture is not a philosophy, agriculture is not a religion, it's a practical activity, it needs to be conducted sensibly. If people cannot grow food around where they live, in one way or the other, in their own countries, in their own communities, if they can't grow food, you can never sustain a population by bringing food from somewhere. You strip the land bare, it's either plowed or paved. Keep it alive. What kind of nonsense you do with your life is up to you.
So our work revolves quite around food. So some of the questions that we want to ask you to do with soil are also in connection with food. So maybe first we can ask a little bit about the general scenario and then dive deep into how soil health is connected to the human body's health and our food's health.
See, the biggest problem is human beings think that they know something about ecology, environment, this, that. The human being's problem is they do not understand they are ecology, they are environment. But now we are talking about a situation where even if you have cash, you don't have food. This is different. This is serious. This is a grave situation. You don't have cash, somebody can give you something, you can either work or beg or steal, do something, all right? But there is food. But when there is no food, your cash becomes meaningless. But now the microbial life down there, on an average, the UNFAO says, on an average, about 27,000 species of microbes are going extinct per year. If it goes at this pace, in another 30 to 40 years, we will reach a place where if you want to revive this soil, it will take 150 to 200 years. See, in your body, only 40% is your parental genetics, 60% is just microbes.
So there's lots of life which we can't see out in the soil.
Most of the life you cannot see.
And lots of life inside here which decides how our health
Not just there, it's everywhere, even in your brains.
Everywhere. What is the relationship, if we were to tangibly, does that directly affect this?
Very much.
How does that happen?
See, food is one major way. The very air that you breathe is full of microbes. As people start living in more and more sanitized atmospheres, their systems will become weaker and weaker. In every land, there must be enough organic content being generated. This was naturally happening because every farm had trees and animals, always. No trees, no animals, only tractors. Tractors are plowing anywhere between 12 to 14 inches deep. And most of the life, 87% of the life on this planet depends upon 15 inches of topsoil, it all comes from that. So we're plowing it like this and leaving it open to kill them. So that's why this is happening. You need organic content, that means you need trees and you need animal waste to happen. So this movement we started almost 25 years ago now, that we started encouraging the local farmers to convert 10% of their land into trees. Oh, 10% of land will go waste, it will not go waste. They will also yield something. Apart from that, your remaining 90% will become very enriched because of the trees. We are less than 0.5%. We are on the verge of desertification. Already the soil, the agricultural input costs are just going up. I'm telling you, if you just take away the subsidy, look at agriculture as a commercial activity, it will fail tomorrow morning, everything will close up. No farmer will be able to manage his farm without subsidized fertilizer, subsidized electricity, subsidized this and that, minimum price, whatever else, you know. It's all free doles being given. If more land was covered by this leaf which is doing photosynthesis, which is the most phenomenal thing that's happening on this planet right now, because we are living because of photosynthesis, in the sense, just go by this simple thing. How much photosynthesis was happening on this planet 500 years ago? How much is happening today? You strip the land bare, it's either plowed or paved. This year itself, the World Food Program, which is in partnership with us, is expecting famines at almost 50% higher than last year in Africa and South America. So last year they distributed food worth $9 billion. This year they want $15 billion because they clearly see there are going to be many more famines in various countries. How long will you provide food like this? If people cannot grow food around where they live in one way or the other, in their own countries, in their own communities, if they can't grow food, you can never sustain a population by bringing food from somewhere. See, right now, we, after 7.5 years of pushing it around, we got what is called as a tree-based, growth-based subsidy for the trees in Karnataka. So 125 rupees subsidy per tree, but spread over 4 years. Why this is when you do tree-based agriculture, first 3-4 years, you lose some income. So he gets that. That income is actually better than his crop, what he is losing. What he is losing, little more than that he is getting. But it's growth-based. He has to take pictures of that every year and post it, then only the money goes to his bank account, otherwise it will not go. You can't tell a farmer who is struggling for daily bread to save the world. It's obscene to even put up such an idea. For him, it's an economic policy. Right now, the tree-based agriculture with which we have, included hundreds of thousands of people, many of them, their incomes have gone up anywhere between 3 to 8 times or 300 to 800%, all right? Every 12 years, they can cut the trees and sell it. The money that they get is what they would get if they sold the land. Now people will want to do agriculture, isn't it? Young people want to go back into agriculture in some parts where they're seeing and so, they can earn much more than being a doctor or an engineer, they're going for it. But right now, we've done some, basic kind of survey, but if you really talk to the farmers across the country, not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. I'm asking in 25 years when all these old people die, who's going to grow food for you? Don't think farming is… just because they look illiterate, don't think it's a simple thing. I'll give you a very fertile plot of 5-10 acres, just grow 3 different varieties of crops for me, let me see. Doesn't matter how intelligent you think you are, maybe you're an engineer, maybe you're something, you will goof up completely. Because it needs some meticulous attention to things, otherwise it won't happen. When that happens, already it's happening around the cities, but when that happens large scale, then there'll be no revival. Once you lose your ability to grow food, then food doesn't come from the store, it comes from the land. All those people who are living in the lab, they need to come to the land. So what can I do is a good question. But right now I am saying don't do anything. If you like to compost your vegetable waste and grow a flower pot in your house, do it. It's good and very cute, but it is not a solution. Solution is only by moving the policy. And policy is not as simple as just telling people, okay, increase the organic content, save the world. No, it is an economic policy.
Do you think that we can also make certain dietary changes that can contribute to conserving our soil?
See, how a farmer, individual farmer does his farming is his business. People sitting in the city will say organic because they just read it in a magazine, not even a book usually, all right? That's not the way to go. As you increase the organic content, the need for fertilizer will come down. As you eat more and more nutritious food, the need for supplement will come down, isn't it? Just like that, you have to doctor the soil, not a philosophy. Agriculture is not a philosophy, agriculture is not a religion, it's a practical activity, it needs to be conducted sensibly.
We as people living in cities, what can we do that can practically turn this situation around?
Now people are living in conditions where everything is managed, temperature is always 24 degrees centigrade, everything is managed like this. They have become like lab rats. We have to move them from lab to land. That's a long process when we don't know when they will move. But at least let us save the soil for our generation and future generation. Keep it alive. What kind of nonsense you do with your life is up to you. But the fundamental life-making material, please keep it alive. This is a fundamental responsibility.